Okay, good evening to all you fellow wonderful TIs out there. Now then, I wanted to give out some advice upon mimicking. Now, you will see this on occasion, but there's something about this you need to understand. Okay, so someone walks out as, a potential perp, or probably most likely is a perp, wearing similar clothing, or even if it's not similar, it's still similar in color and in contrast as to what you're wearing or what they would expect you to be wearing. Now, first off, don't even get mad. Don't even get agitated. Don't even let it bother you. And I'm gonna tell you why. For one thing, you can't tell another person what they can and cannot wear. You can't get pissed off if they're acting a certain type of way of any kind. You can't do that. That's not something you can really do about. And then, because as soon as you ask about that, I mean, you already know it's related to your targeting. But like, if you were to, you got to look at it from a another perspective on this. You know what this is all about, but you got to look at it from a person who is unaware how they would see it if you brought this to the table. So try to look at it from this perspective. First off, they're going to use the excuse, well, like, wait a minute, are you saying that they're not allowed to wear this, or they're not allowed to do that, and whatever, right? It may be related to targeting to agitate you, but you got to understand it. And the more you start to realize this, you can document it. You can take it as footage and all that, but don't let it get to you. Don't do that, because the more and more stuff that you ignore, the more and more your perps will get desperate. The main point of what they're doing is to agitate you, to trigger a reaction. Everything that they're doing is always bent towards reaction. Even if it means you filming them, that also counts towards it as well. But you don't ever want to stop filming these people because of what they're doing. Because in the end, there's always going to be that small chance that they will slip up, and then you're going to be able to expose them for what they are. Just like in my case, how I just let them talk their little bit of mess or whatever, and then I'll go on to my little speech or whatever. I'll sometimes use my own words. Sometimes I'll even play a video, and they'll just get pissed off about it. And they go into some serious cold, like it's like robot mode when I've seen this. It's like as soon as I had a few words come out, bam, they were all just dead quiet, just bam, just like someone flipped a switch. It's insane, man. It is really, really insane. But you got to also understand the mindset of a narcissist, though. The more and more you understand that, the more you will survive in this world. Or rather, I say that you'll have the better chances of surviving, because everything that they're doing is all bent towards the destruction of your mental state. It's all nothing but a game of mentality. And you gotta learn to use that against them. Everything that you're gonna say that you're gonna react to, they're gonna try to use that against you. Like, oh, well, like you're expecting a package to come in, right? Well, we're gonna F with that package, so that when you go to look for it, it's not there. But when you come back to go take footage of it, it's gonna be there. And when it is there, you're gonna end up getting, insanely about it. You're gonna react to it. First off, if a package gets delivered and it's not there, this is why it's best to track your own location data for your phone, because it will give you evidence as to where you are for yourself, and it'll be proof. So, like, let's say you ordered a package, right? But they're going like, wait a minute, like, couldn't you just shown up and then not just just received or whatever? The best thing about where I live is that there's plenty of cameras around. And I know for a fact that, like, if I order a package or something like that, and it's not there, I can actually take that down as evidence, as well as my location data as evidence, and use that as a form of saying, well, like, someone was, in doing this or that, or whatever, right? And by the way, tampering with mail is a felony. For people who don't know, that's a felony. But you have to remember, you have to be able to prove it. You have to be able to prove it. And this is my advice as to doing just that. Have the tracking number for your stuff. You could use this on like several different methods. If they're tampering with one thing, you can track it from another. Because chances are it's probably saying one thing, but your stuff have most likely already been delivered. and they're pretty much just trying to keep you from it or whatever, basically. Another thing that I wanted to go over is shoot, what is that? Anyway, back onto the topic at hand, mimicking. Remember, you can't control another person. Well, with this technology, I guess they kind of can, but you got to understand that this whole thing is just a mind game. It's nothing but a mind game. But you know something? It's a mind game you do not have to participate in. You don't have, just because they're doing something, you don't have to react to it. Just because they're saying something, you don't have to listen to it. You could just walk on about your business. They're going to follow you, no doubt. But you see, they're putting themselves in more harm's way of doing that. And that's showing that that's actual initial intent towards you, considering that they're following you. But they will use the other, what's that, the double maker, the double ganger tactic that I like to call, as to when they'll actually inject one person in to do the same crap, and then they'll eject them out and then put another player in play to do the exact same crap, basically. Now then, I've made a video recently about, well, actually not recently, but a few days ago, about about how to identify the military tactics that they use. Now, that's something you can use as evidence. Each hand signal that they do, each signal as far as going towards their hair, their neck, their nose, anything that seems to be very obvious. And then you have the evidence as to what faction of military that has came from, and you can put the two and two together, how these are oftenly being shown. It's one thing if it happens just like that one brief of the moment thing, but if it's happening in multiple locations, then that's a clear sign of military tactics. Now, why would a group of people, multiple different people, be using military tactics? That seems very that would, now you see, that would be very odd. Something like that would be very odd and very questionable. Why would a whole group of people be using military tactics? And it seems to be being used around you in locations that you go to, no doubt. And considering it's not just the fact that they're using military tactics, it's also the type of military tactics they are using. It's also the type. So the type of military tactics they're using, if you can figure that out, and you have evidence showing that these events are literally keyed into just about almost every location you're going to, then you got evidence of organized stalking, brother and sister. You got evidence of all of that, but you need to find it, and I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna start looking for the factions that actually has this. I remember there was a TI. She looked this up, and she couldn't, because of copyright. She couldn't like display it out for you to read it for your own. You know, I'm pretty sure you could just leave. You could still leave a link down. I'm pretty certain that's still legal, but she couldn't. She couldn't like have it on the camera or whatever and whatnot, so she had to just read it out. But that's one thing you need to understand, that these hand signals, these hand signs, and all the stuff that they're doing, it's all signaling. All of it is signaling, and you need to be able to find out what type of tactical signaling it is, and what faction it's coming from, and what its designated use is for. Once you have that, along with the video footage, along with the tactics that they use, that yes, this is employed as military tactics that they use for certain individuals. When you have that evidence right there, and let's say you have like over a month of evidence of nothing but hand signals, nothing but hand signs and signaling and all that type of stuff of what these people are doing, and it's always in your line. It's usually almost always in your line of view. And you got to understand, most of these signals, they have two types of communication. They have two ways. This isn't just one thing that they're doing. There's two things that they're doing that you're most likely not noticing. to literally establish these signals to give it 100% of a doubt that yes, this is indeed a signal. So that's one thing you want to be mindful of. Don't get sensitized to it. Just let the camera do all the work. Let the camera do all the work. They when they act out like that, just get your footage. Just get your footage. Don't let that stuff. Don't let that mess agitate you. First off, and always ask yourself this: from the moment you stepped out of your home, from the moment from the moment you planned out your day, did you do anything wrong? You didn't harm nobody, right? You didn't steal anything. You didn't assault nobody, right? So you're not doing any harm. You're not dealing with drugs or nothing like that. You're not selling drugs to nobody. You're not doing any of that mess, right? So then you know for a fact you're not doing anything wrong. But unfortunately, this satanic organization, that doesn't mean that they're not going to stop trying to, entice you from doing wrong. The one thing you got to always remember, keep fighting a good fight. Tell yourself every day, I'm not finna be converted into a criminal. I'm not finna be converted into a pervert. I'm not finna be converted into anything what these satanic cultists, these satanic supporters want me to be. I'm not finna do it. Absolutely not. Tell them you could keep yelling out, yapping off at the mouth all you want. My answer will be no. I'm not doing this dirty work for you to have a scapegoat. You have your problems, I got mine. Bottom line is, I'm not selling myself short for no type of body like that. And I'm not finna sell myself to put someone else in harm's way. I'm not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen. Even though they're using this synthetic telepathy, this RNM, remote neural monitoring, remote neural manipulation, I will fight it. I will fight it, and I will continue to fight until I regain full control over my freedom. Because that is my God-given right. And nobody, and I mean nobody, will ever have the authority to take that from you. Even if they may try to force, they still will never. Even if they try to force that control, they will never have the right for that. They will never have the right for that. Never. Under no circumstances, under no excuses of any kind. This is MM's TI Strategy Guide. I send both my love and my prayers all out to all of you. Remember, stay strong, stay safe. I'm over and out.